Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the life of a true Hollywood icon, Ann Sheridan. You may know her as the Oomph Girl, but behind the glamour and the dazzling screen presence was a woman who fought tooth and nail to be taken seriously in an industry that often reduced her to just another pretty face. From a humble Texas upbringing to becoming one of Warner Brothers' biggest stars, Ann Sheridan's life was filled with triumphs, heartbreak, and a relentless pursuit of respect in Hollywood. But what was she really like behind the scenes? How did she navigate the pressures of fame, love, and scandal? And how did Hollywood ultimately turn its back on one of its most beloved leading ladies? Stick around as we unravel the incredible, and at times tragic, story of Ann Sheridan. Family Clara Lou Sheridan, later known as Ann Sheridan, was born on February 21, 1915, in Denton, Texas, as the youngest of 5 children. She was part of a hard-working, middle-class family that embodied the values of resilience, determination, and practicality, traits that she carried throughout her life and career. Her father, George W. Sheridan, was a garage mechanic, providing a stable, albeit modest, livelihood for his family. He was known for his strong work ethic and mechanical skills, making him a respected figure within the local community. Beyond his profession, he also had a notable historical connection. Clara Lou once stated that he was a grandnephew of the Civil War Union General Philip Sheridan, though the accuracy of this claim has been debated. Her mother, Lula Stewart, née Warren, was a devoted homemaker who played a crucial role in raising the 5 Sheridan children. She was known for her warmth, charm, and strong-willed nature, traits that Ann herself would later exhibit in Hollywood. As the youngest in the household, Clara Lou was doted on by her older siblings but was also expected to hold her own in a busy and energetic family environment. Growing up in a household with multiple children helped her develop a strong sense of independence, adaptability, and perseverance, qualities that would serve her well in her later years. Ann's siblings, Kitty, Pauline, Mabel, and George, each had their own impact on her life, particularly her sister Kitty, who played a pivotal role in her eventual journey to Hollywood. Kitty was the one who secretly submitted Clara Lou's photograph to Paramount's Search for Beauty contest in 1933, an action that would alter the course of her sister's life forever. It was Kitty's belief in Clara Lou's beauty and potential that introduced her to the film industry, a world far removed from the rural life they had known in Texas. Pauline and Mabel, her other sisters, were less involved in her rise to fame but remained part of her early support system. Growing up with multiple sisters meant that Ann was accustomed to navigating relationships filled with both camaraderie and competition. This dynamic likely contributed to her ability to handle the often ruthless world of Hollywood, where actresses were frequently pitted against one another. Her only brother, George, shared a name with their father and was an important figure in her childhood. While there is little publicly available information about George's life, having an older brother in the family likely added a layer of protection and influence during her upbringing. The Sheridan children grew up in a close-knit household where family values were emphasized, but as Ann's Hollywood career progressed, maintaining those close ties became increasingly difficult. The Sheridan household was characterized by a blend of discipline, warmth, and traditional values. Their Texas upbringing meant that outdoor activities, self-sufficiency, and resilience were key aspects of their daily lives. Clara Lou was known for her athleticism from an early age, excelling in basketball, horseback riding, and even marksmanship, skills that were often encouraged in Texas households of the era. Though her father worked hard to provide for the family, the financial realities of a working-class household meant that all the children were expected to contribute and develop a sense of responsibility. Early life Ann Sheridan spent her early years immersed in the rural lifestyle of Texas, which fostered her adventurous spirit and love for the outdoors. From a young age, Sheridan exhibited a natural talent for the performing arts. She actively participated in school plays during her time at Robert E. Lee Grade School and Denton Junior High School, honing her acting skills and developing a passion for the stage. In addition to her theatrical pursuits, she was a member of the North Texas State Teachers College women's basketball team, showcasing her athleticism and team spirit. She also sang with the college's stage band, further displaying her versatility and love for performance. In 1933, Sheridan's life took an unexpected turn when her sister, Kitty, submitted a photograph of her to Paramount Pictures' Search for Beauty contest without her knowledge. At the time, Sheridan had no aspirations of becoming an actress and was focused on her studies and extracurricular activities at North Texas State Teachers College. She was deeply involved in college life, balancing her academic responsibilities with her love for performance and sports. She was particularly known for her vibrant energy on the basketball court and her passion for music, performing with the college's stage band. To her great surprise, Sheridan won the beauty contest, which awarded her a screen test and a small part in the film Search for Beauty, 1934. It was a decision that would change the trajectory of her life. Though the contest was meant to discover young, fresh faces for Hollywood, many of the winners, including Sheridan, were primarily used as extras rather than being launched as major stars. Despite this, she saw the opportunity as a chance to explore something new. At just 18 years old, she left college and traveled to Hollywood, stepping into a world that was far removed from her Texas upbringing. The transition was overwhelming. Hollywood in the 1930s was a ruthless industry, favoring glamour and marketability over raw talent. Young actresses were often molded into personas that suited the studio system rather than being allowed to develop naturally. Sheridan, with her natural beauty and Texan charm, quickly stood out, though not necessarily in the way she had hoped. Paramount, unsure of what to do with her at first, placed her in small, uncredited roles, using her primarily as eye candy in their productions. Despite her initial struggles, the experience sparked a curiosity and determination within her. Hollywood was a far cry from her life in Texas, where she had been free to explore her talents without the pressures of image-making and commercial appeal. Now, she was expected to conform to studio expectations, change her name, and refine her accent, all to fit into an industry that saw her as just another pretty face. But Sheridan was not one to be easily discouraged. Her natural charisma and drive pushed her to stay in the industry, even when she was relegated to minor roles. At the age of 19, she officially made her film debut, marking the beginning of her career. While Search for Beauty didn't make her a star, it opened doors for her to continue working in Hollywood. She took on various small roles, gradually learning the mechanics of filmmaking and refining her skills. This was a challenging time for her, as she struggled to prove herself beyond just her looks. She knew she had talent and was determined not to let herself be typecast as just another Hollywood ingenue. Her early years in Hollywood were filled with ups and downs, but they laid the foundation for what would become a remarkable career. Sheridan's journey from an unsuspecting college student in Texas to a budding actress in Hollywood was the result of a combination of chance, talent, and an unyielding spirit, qualities that would serve her well in the years to come. Career and Sheridan's journey in Hollywood was a testament to perseverance, adaptability, and a relentless desire to be taken seriously as an actress beyond her looks. Despite facing numerous challenges in the industry, she managed to carve out a successful career spanning more than 3 decades, appearing in 75 films and leaving a lasting legacy. Upon arriving in Hollywood, Sheridan, then still known as Clara Lou Sheridan, was thrust into the studio system at a time when young actors and actresses were often molded into whatever image the studios deemed marketable. Paramount Pictures, the first studio she signed with, saw potential in her beauty but did not initially recognize her acting abilities. She was given small, often uncredited roles, and at times was used as a body double for other actresses. Her strong Texas accent also proved to be a hurdle, as Hollywood at the time preferred actresses to have a more refined, neutral dialect. This led to her being overlooked for major roles, and she struggled to establish herself in the competitive industry. Dissatisfied with the lack of progress, she decided to reinvent herself. Part of this reinvention involved changing her name to Ann Sheridan, a decision made at the insistence of studio executives who believed it sounded more marketable. However, it wasn't until she changed her manager and moved to Warner Brothers in 1936 that her career truly began to take off. Warner Brothers quickly saw commercial potential in Sheridan, but not necessarily in the way she had hoped. In 1939, she was given the nickname the Oomph Girl, a term coined by a journalist who described her as possessing an indefinable sex appeal. Warner Brothers capitalized on this, aggressively marketing her as a glamorous starlet. The title brought her fame, but it also became a burden. She was viewed as little more than a pin-up star rather than a serious actress. Though Sheridan resented the label, she worked hard to prove herself, securing increasingly significant roles. Some of her early Warner Brothers films that helped her gain recognition included San Quentin, 1937, with Humphrey Bogart, Angels with Dirty Faces, 1938, with James Cagney, and Dodge City, 1939, with Errol Flynn. These films allowed her to break free from purely decorative roles and showcase her versatility in crime dramas, westerns, and action-packed films. Her performances were well received, and she quickly became one of Warner Brothers' most bankable stars. Despite this success, she still felt constrained by the Oomph Girl image, which often led to her being cast in roles that emphasized her beauty rather than her depth as an actress. Determined to be taken seriously, Sheridan continued to push for better roles. One of her first standout performances came in They Drive By Night, 1940, in which she played the resilient wife of a struggling truck driver, opposite George Raft and Humphrey Bogart. The film demonstrated her ability to handle complex roles and helped shift her public perception. Her most significant breakthrough came with King's Row, 1942, where she starred alongside Ronald Reagan, Robert Cummings, and Betty Field. The film was a major hit and is considered one of the best dramas of the 1940s. Sheridan's performance as a strong, independent woman navigating small-town scandal showcased her range and further solidified her reputation as a leading lady. During World War II, she also became known for her support of the troops. She frequently participated in USO tours, entertaining American servicemen and boosting morale. Her down-to-earth personality and genuine appreciation for the soldiers made her one of the most beloved pin-up girls of the war era. Unlike some actresses who leaned heavily into the glamorous, untouchable persona, Sheridan was known for her approachable charm, which made her a favorite among both audiences and fellow actors. By the mid-1940s, Sheridan had proven herself as a serious actress, but like many women in Hollywood at the time, she faced difficulties maintaining leading roles as she aged. The film industry had a notorious tendency to replace actresses over 30 with younger starlets, regardless of their talent or experience. She continued to work steadily in films such as The Unfaithful, 1947, I Was a Male War Bride, 1949, alongside Cary Grant, and Steel Town, 1952, but the roles she was offered became fewer and less prestigious. Her contract with Warner Brothers ended in 1948, and she struggled to find work that matched the caliber of her earlier films. The rise of television also changed the landscape of entertainment, making it harder for aging film stars to maintain the same level of fame. Like many actors of her generation, Sheridan transitioned to television in the 1950s, appearing in guest roles on various series. In 1966, she landed a lead role in the Western-themed sitcom Pistols and Petticoats, a project that offered her a second chance at stardom. Unfortunately, she was diagnosed with esophageal cancer during production, and her health quickly declined. Scandals and Sheridan's career in Hollywood was marked not only by success but also by a series of scandals and controversies that underscored the challenges faced by women in the entertainment industry during the mid-20th century. Her beauty, charisma, and strong-willed nature made her a standout star, but they also made her a target for both admiration and exploitation. She was frequently at the center of sensationalized headlines, many of which were fueled by the studio system's aggressive publicity tactics and the societal norms of the time. After being dubbed the Oomph Girl in 1939, Sheridan's career skyrocketed, but so did the public's obsession with her. The label, meant to highlight her sex appeal, turned her into an object of fantasy for many men. This sudden fame led to an influx of unsolicited attention, including an astonishing 250 marriage proposals in a single week. While this could have been flattering in some circumstances, it quickly became overwhelming, with fans often overstepping boundaries in their attempts to get close to her. One of the most infamous incidents occurred at a movie premiere when a UCLA fraternity student, in an act of extreme fanaticism, handcuffed himself to Sheridan. The event was humiliating and distressing for her, yet the studios did little to ensure her safety. Instead, they viewed such occurrences as excellent publicity opportunities, reinforcing the perception that female stars were commodities rather than individuals with personal autonomy. At the time, it was common for studios to use actresses' beauty and desirability as marketing tools, often at the expense of their well-being. Sheridan, despite her rising frustration with the industry's treatment of women, had little choice but to play along. Speaking out against such treatment was not an option in an era when actresses were expected to be glamorous, accommodating, and, above all, silent about their struggles. The culture of Hollywood in the 1930s and 1940s was one in which women were frequently objectified and pressured to maintain an unattainable image of perfection, both on and off the screen. Another major aspect of Sheridan's life that attracted controversy was her romantic relationships. Like many actresses of the era, some of her relationships were orchestrated by the studio to generate publicity and maintain a certain public image. However, her actual romantic life was much more complicated than the picture-perfect narratives the studios tried to sell. One of the most scandalous episodes in her personal life occurred in the 1950s when she was accused of having an affair with Mexican actor Rodolfo Acosta. The two had worked together on Appointment in Honduras, 1953, and their on-screen chemistry reportedly carried over into real life. However, Acosta was married at the time, and when their affair became public, it quickly turned into a legal and media spectacle. In 1956, Sheridan was charged with criminal adultery in Mexico after Acosta's wife, Janine Cohen Acosta, filed a legal complaint against her. The accusation led to an arrest warrant being issued in Mexico, creating a scandal that tarnished Sheridan's reputation at a time when Hollywood was still bound by strict moral expectations. While the legal proceedings did not ultimately result in any significant penalties for Sheridan, the damage to her public image was significant. In 1950s America, women in Hollywood were expected to maintain an aura of respectability, and being associated with a high-profile affair, especially one involving a married man, was a serious threat to an actress's career. While men in the industry could often escape such scandals with little consequence, women were held to a much harsher standard. The press had a field day with the accusations against Sheridan, painting her as a homewrecker and using her past reputation as the Oomph Girl to reinforce the narrative that she was a seductive temptress. Marriages and Sheridan's personal life was marked by a series of marriages and relationships that reflected both the challenges of maintaining personal connections within Hollywood and her search for lasting companionship. Despite her fame and success, her romantic life was often tumultuous, with each relationship carrying its own complexities. In 1936, Sheridan married actor Edward Norris in Ensenada, Mexico. At the time, Norris was a rising star, known for roles in films like Three Godfathers, 1936, and They Made Me a Criminal, 1939. However, their union was short-lived. They separated after about a year and finalized their divorce in 1939. The pressures of burgeoning careers and the demands of Hollywood likely contributed to their relationship's demise. Norris reportedly struggled with Sheridan's growing success while his own career faced challenges, creating tension that ultimately led to their split. Her second marriage was to fellow Warner Brothers actor George Brent. The two had co-starred in Honeymoon for Three, 1941, and their on-screen chemistry carried over into real life. They married on January 5, 1942, but from the start, their relationship faced significant challenges. Both were established actors with demanding schedules that often kept them apart. The pressures of Hollywood, combined with personal differences, led to their separation exactly 1 year later, on January 5, 1943. Their divorce was highly publicized, with Brent falsely claiming that Sheridan had initiated the split to damage his career. In later reflections, Sheridan admitted that a lack of honesty had doomed both of her early marriages, stating, "With both men, there was no honesty between us. And if two people living together can't be honest, then I don't want it." Following her divorce from Brent, Sheridan entered a long-term relationship with publicist Steve Hannigan. Unlike her previous marriages, this relationship was more stable, and the two remained together until Hannigan's death in 1953. Though they never married, their bond was significant. Hannigan left Sheridan $218,399 in his will, a testament to the closeness they shared. His passing was a deep loss for her, and she struggled to find another connection as profound in the years that followed. In the early 1950s, Sheridan became involved with Mexican actor Rodolfo Acosta, with whom she co-starred in Appointment in Honduras, 1953. Their relationship was highly controversial because Acosta was married at the time. The two shared an apartment in Mexico City for several years, leading to intense speculation in both Hollywood and Mexican media. In October 1956, Sheridan faced legal trouble when Acosta's wife accused her of criminal adultery in a Mexican federal court, resulting in an arrest warrant being issued for her. Ultimately, no legal action was taken, and the relationship ended around 1958. However, the scandal damaged her reputation and further complicated her personal life. Sheridan's final marriage was to actor Scott McKay. They wed on June 5, 1966, at a time when Sheridan was battling esophageal cancer. Despite her declining health, McKay stood by her side, offering unwavering support during her final months. Other relationships and Sheridan's personal life was marked by several significant relationships beyond her marriages, reflecting both the complexities of love in the Hollywood spotlight and her quest for genuine companionship. After her marriages, Sheridan developed a deep connection with publicist Steve Hannigan. Their relationship, which lasted from 1944 until Hannigan's death in 1953, was characterized by mutual respect and affection. Despite the challenges posed by their respective residences, Hannigan on the East Coast and Sheridan on the West Coast, they maintained a heartfelt bond. Marriage was considered, but religious constraints posed obstacles. Sheridan, who had been raised Catholic, consulted a priest about the possibility of marrying Hannigan. The priest advised against it, suggesting that such a union would jeopardize their standing within the church. Disillusioned, Sheridan distanced herself from her religious upbringing. Despite these challenges, their relationship remained strong until Hannigan's passing, after which he bequeathed her $218,399, a testament to their deep connection. In the early 1950s, Sheridan became involved with Mexican actor Rodolfo Acosta, with whom she co-starred in Appointment in Honduras, 1953. Their relationship was controversial, as Acosta was married at the time. The two shared an apartment in Mexico City for several years, leading to legal troubles when Acosta's wife accused Sheridan of criminal adultery in a Mexican federal court in October 1956. An arrest warrant was issued, but ultimately, no legal action was taken. The relationship ended around 1958. There were also rumors of a possible romance between Sheridan and Ronald Reagan, her co-star in multiple films, including Kings Row, 1942. While their on-screen chemistry was palpable, neither confirmed a romantic involvement. Their relationship remained one of professional respect and camaraderie. Death in the mid-1960s, as Ann Sheridan approached her 50s, she experienced a decline in her acting career, a common fate for many actresses in Hollywood at the time. Determined to revitalize her professional life, she took the bold step of buying out her contract with Warner Brothers, aiming to secure more substantial and challenging roles. Despite her efforts, meaningful opportunities remained elusive, and she found herself grappling with the industry's relentless focus on youth. In 1966, a promising opportunity emerged when Sheridan was cast as Henrietta Hanks, the matriarch in the Western-themed television sitcom Pistols and Petticoats. The show offered her a platform to reconnect with audiences and showcase her versatility as an actress. However, during the production, Sheridan began experiencing health issues. She was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, which had aggressively metastasized to her liver. Despite her declining health, Sheridan continued to work, demonstrating remarkable dedication and professionalism. Tragically, she succumbed to the illness on January 21, 1967, exactly 1 month before her 52nd birthday. Her death coincided with the airing of the 19th episode of Pistols and Petticoats, titled Beware the Hangman, underscoring her commitment to her craft until the very end. Sheridan's passing sent ripples through Hollywood, as many were unaware of the severity of her illness. Her private battle with cancer highlighted her resilience and determination to maintain her career and public persona despite personal adversity. Over her career, she appeared in 75 films, leaving an indelible mark on the industry. Today, she is remembered not only for her captivating screen presence but also for her strength and grace in facing life's challenges.